Hello, my name is Chunbum Park, also known as Chun. I'm originally from South Korea and I currently live in Palisades Park in New Jersey. When I first came to the United States, I lived in Nashville, Tennessee. From elementary school to high school, I was constantly ridiculed by my fellow students as they were not accepting of me and my differences. However, I was loved by my art teachers who saw potential in me. I first decided to become an artist when I was a student at the University of Rochester and I was studying history and failing really bad as a student. I was also not doing well in terms of social life as I had barely any friends and was addicted to computer games. I felt that I needed to be given a chance at something that I was actually good at, rather than being forced to do something I wasn't all that interested in. In 2011, I transferred to the Rhode Island School of Design for the fall semester. I still had problems being addicted to computer games and having a terrible social life, but I met a really amazing roommate. Although we were best friends, we separated ways when I had to suddenly leave school due to a series of incidents. He would never talk to me again and I still miss my friend to this day. After the shock of having to leave school so suddenly, I went back to South Korea in late 2011 to be with my dad, an uncle, and to take a break from school. I stayed here until 2013 when I felt ready to return to school. Rishi suggested I prove my readiness to return by working and taking classes, so I took classes at the Art Students League of NY and worked at the Century 21 department store. I fell in love with a beautiful girl from Ukraine, whom I met over DeviantArt in late 2013. I wanted to meet her in person, but I had no means to do so, and we eventually broke up. I painted her portrait to show my devotion and love for her. In 2014, I returned to South Korea and met another tall, beautiful girl who was also studying art. When she found out that I could not become a Christian, we broke up. I taught English at a local cramming school, also known as Hagwon. The kids loved me, and I loved them so much. But it was time for me to return to America to finish my studies as an artist. I returned to America in 2015, reapplied to art schools, and enrolled as a transfer and a freshman at the School of Visual Arts in NYC in 2017. My most memorable moments included singing along to the song titled Every Teardrop is a Waterfall by Coldplay in a karaoke bar with my friends, as well as having my senior open studios. I also had the chance to work as an intern at a gallery in the city and I learned a lot about the gallery environment and how it operates. My favorite professor would always ask me to question everything and told me that there was more meaning and substance to what we don't know than what we think we know. I made lots of paintings expressing my wonder and appreciation for the female nude within the context of human sexuality. I finished my studies and obtained my BFA in Fine Arts in 2020 during the height of the coronavirus pandemic. I was then accepted to MFA Fine Arts Studio program at the Rochester Institute of Technology where I am now a student. At RIT, I would like to explore gender fluidity and the exercise of the male gaze with reference to the Anagata in Japanese Kabuki theater. I have a graduate review coming up on May 12th in which the faculty decides whether I am ready to move on to second year as a graduate thesis candidate or not. If I don't pass the review, then I'm kicked out of school. It's a really scary time for me as an artist and a student because I'm not sure where I will end up. My studio is very messy with paint containers being everywhere. I need a lot of paint because I love doing impasto with a palette knife or a heavy brush. I love Frank Auerbach, who was introduced to me by my painting professor at RISD. He praised me and compared me with Matisse and Picasso, but I doubt he actually meant those words. I love Pablo Picasso and Paul Gauguin, but I keep hearing that they weren't good people because they mistreated women. Female and feminist artists such as Judith Lynn Harris, Tamara Di Lempicka, Emery Sherrill, and Cecily Brown inspire me as well. I hope to continue to do work that involves the female form and celebrates Asian female beauty. I hope my new body of work dealing with gender fluidity and performativity will be groundbreaking and substantial. I hope to obtain my MFA in Fine Arts Studio from RIT and eventually become an art instructor or professor. Thank you so much for looking and listening to my story.